Shalom. I'm Eddie Chumney of Hebraic Heritage Ministries, and we welcome you to this week's Focus Israel Report. In this week's report, we're going to be sharing with you the efforts of Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to expand his coalition government. And it is as follows. In early May, Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu confessed that he has been conducting secret talks to bring the primary opposition party, that is the Zionist Union, into his coalition government. In doing so, opposition leader Isaac Herzog said that in the past year he has received frequent requests to join Netanyahu's government. Regarding them, he said, "To all of them I answered, sitting in the government without holding the steering wheel, that doesn't interest me. I am not a decoration." In other words, talk of a breakthrough is highly premature. Herzog added, "Until this very moment, no appropriate proposal has been placed before us. If there is an appropriate offer, we will consider it seriously. Everyone loves the idea of unity, but what counts are the principles which bind the parties together," he asserted. In stating his conditions for joining the government, Herzog said that he will consider joining Netanyahu's coalition only if he is given a mandate to pursue a Palestinian state in a two-state solution, saying, "If I receive the mandate to stop the next funeral procession and curb the dangers of an international boycott, to return the United States and Europe into being allies, to open negotiations with neighboring states, and to separate from the Palestinians in two states in order to halt the constant terrorism, then I will know that my hands are holding the steering wheel," he said. However, most of the members of Herzog's political party have said that they oppose joining the Netanyahu government based upon the present situation. Former opposition leader Shelly Yakimovich and former chief negotiator in the peace process and leader of the Hatnua political party, Tzipi Livni, both said that they wouldn't join the government with him, with Livni vowing to pull her political party Hatnua, who joined the former Labor Party to form the current Zionist Union Party in last elections, out of Zionist Union if Herzog brought members of the former Labor Party into Netanyahu's coalition. Tzipi Livni, head of the Hatnua Party and number 2 on the Zionist Union Party list, headed by Isaac Herzog, strongly opposes joining Netanyahu's government, saying, "Our mission is to be in the opposition. I would not do a thing to strengthen Netanyahu, his way of doing things, or his coalition. Netanyahu's policies are bad for Israel. He bases his worldview, and has reinforced it in the public, on the idea that the whole world is against us, that we are a nation that walks alone in the international community." Former opposition leader of the Labor Party, Shelly Yakimovich, announced that she would oppose joining Netanyahu's government, saying, "Netanyahu called and Herzog came running out on all fours with a bone in his mouth. Entry into the coalition now under these conditions would be nothing less than a treacherous act. Treacherous to the voters who chose us over the Likud when we said, it's either us or them, and against our values which we believe can bring about true changes in Israel. I will not set out my values for government cabinet positions," she said. "Bad things will happen if Herzog tries to impose this on us. Of course, I want to be a senior minister, and I will be a very good one, but not at any price. This offer should have been rejected outright a long time ago," she said. "I've expressed my position in no uncertain terms in internal conversations, and I want to prevent this mistake from taking place. We are not talking about a unity government. This is a right-wing government that Labor is willing to crawl into just to get portfolios and status. A great big nothing is being devised simply to avoid upsetting the most right-wing party in the coalition, and that is Jewish Home." Another former leader of the Labor Party who is a present member of the Zionist Union, Knesset member Amir Peretz, strongly opposed the idea of joining Netanyahu's coalition government. He said, "What has this government done?" he continued. "It's absolutely clear that Benjamin Netanyahu will not change his career and become a man of peace who is willing to pay the price of peace, not only to make statements on behalf of peace." If the Zionist Union political party would join Netanyahu's coalition government, the Labor Party faction within Zionist Union would have 3 main objectives for joining the coalition. The first 2 are taking over the talks with the Palestinians and removing the political party Jewish Home from Netanyahu's government. Jewish Home opposes a Palestinian state. One Labor Party official said, "Herzog seeks a wide toolbox for the diplomatic talks, but Netanyahu isn't even willing to declare a construction freeze in the settlements. Another Labor Party official said Netanyahu isn't willing to remove the political party Jewish Home from his existing government coalition because he doesn't want to get in trouble with right-wing voters and doesn't want the leader of the Jewish Home Party, Naftali Bennett, to be to his right in the opposition. In reaction to the possibility of Zionist Union political party leader Isaac Herzog joining Netanyahu's coalition government, Zionist Union party members said that Herzog does not have a mandate from party members to join Netanyahu's government. Zionist Union Knesset member Yoel Hassan said, "I and the members of the party have no intentions to take part in such a move. We must prepare properly for the upcoming session and ensure that we continue to propose a better alternative to the public, an alternative of real security, a fair economy, and mending the rifts in society," he added. Zionist Union Knesset member Ariel Margalit sent a letter to Netanyahu saying, "I will not join your extremist government. That will hold true regardless of the decisions of the members of my political party." Zionist Union Knesset member Stav Shafir blasted the idea of her party entering Netanyahu's government, saying that doing so would be a betrayal to voters of the Labor Party. She said, "We have been promising for a whole year that it's either us or Netanyahu. At no stage did we say it's us and also him. The very discussion about crawling into the government is embarrassing me." As a result, many believe that if Zionist Union leader Isaac Herzog did decide to join Netanyahu's coalition government, it would split his party. While Netanyahu was in discussion with Zionist Union leader Isaac Herzog, Egyptian President Abdel al-Sisi promised Israel a warmer diplomatic relationship if Israel would resume peace talks with the Palestinians through the initiative led by the French government. He said, "I say we will achieve a warmer peace if we resolve the issue of our Palestinian brothers and give hope to the Palestinians of the establishment of a state. I ask that the Israeli leadership allow this speech to be broadcast in Israel 1 or 2 times, as this is a genuine opportunity. We are willing to make all efforts to help find a solution to this problem." Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu responded positively to the Egyptian president's comment, saying, "Israel is willing to participate alongside Egypt and other Arab states in advancing the diplomatic process and stability in the region," while saying that Sisi's words were encouraging. In addition, Netanyahu said that he embraced the general idea of the 2002 Arab-Saudi Peace Initiative. The Arab Peace Initiative, originally proposed by Saudi Arabia in 2002, has many problematic aspects to it, the Prime Minister said, such as its call for an Israeli withdrawal from the Golan Heights and the return of Palestinian refugees to Israel. There are positive aspects and negative aspects to it. Israel is willing to negotiate with the Arab states revisions to that initiative so that it reflects the dramatic changes in the region since 2002, but maintains the agreed goal of 2 states for 2 peoples. Therefore, the general idea, that is to try and reach understandings with leading Arab countries, is a good idea. In the framework proposed by the initiative, all Arab and Islamic states would establish normal diplomatic relations with Israel after the successful conclusion of the peace process with the Palestinians. The Israeli government has never fully endorsed the Saudi peace plan. Former British Prime Minister Tony Blair said Sunni Muslim countries are ready to normalize ties with Israel should Israel negotiate a peace deal with the Palestinian Authority on the basis of the 2002 Arab Peace Initiative. Provided that the Israeli government is ready to commit to a discussion around the 2002 Arab Peace Initiative, it would be possible to have some steps of normalization along the way to give confidence to this process, Blair said. With the new leadership in the region today, that is possible. A lot will depend on the response of the Israeli government to Egyptian President Sisi's initiative and to the Arab Peace Initiative and to whatever steps the Israelis are ready to take to make it a reality. A clause in the scrapped coalition agreement between Netanyahu and the Zionist Union opposition party reportedly stated that the government would relate positively to the idea of a regional reconciliation agreement between Israel and several Arab states, as well as to certain elements of the Arab Peace Initiative to resolve the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Blair's comments are are significant. A list of international figures led by Tony Blair were behind a failed move designed to legitimize the addition of the Zionist Union to the Israeli ruling coalition, a move practically unprecedented in terms of massive international intervention in Israeli politics. Two sources in the Israeli political system say that Blair, the former British Prime Minister and representative of the Quartet, while coordinating and updating opposition leader Isaac Herzog, is the one who pushed and encouraged Egyptian President Abdel al-Sisi's speech, in which he called on Israeli political parties to agree on the need to advance the framework for peace with the Palestinians. Until last year, Blair served as an envoy for the Quartet, which is an alliance of the United States, the European Union, the United Nations, and Russia that seeks Israeli-Palestinian peace. Although Blair is no longer the Quartet representative to the peace process, Blair continued to act independently to restart the peace process between Israel and the Palestinians, as well as Israel and the Arab world. Recently, Blair visited Israel and other countries in the region every 2 or 3 weeks, almost always meeting with Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu as well as Herzog, updating them on his talks with Arab leaders. His consistent message in these meetings was that Sunni Arab nations are willing and prepared for a breakthrough in relations with Israel, but it depended upon steps Israel took in the West Bank and the Gaza to demonstrate advancement of the two-state solution. Political sources involved in the matter said that in recent weeks, against the backdrop of Netanyahu and Finance Minister Moshe Collins' agreement on passing a 2-year budget instead of the normal 1-year budget, Blair realized that the Israeli government would stand firm until 2019. Blair thought that the only way to advance a diplomatic move between Israel and the Palestinians, with the involvement of Arab nations, would be to bring the Zionist Union into the coalition. A few weeks ago, while there was contact between Herzog and Netanyahu, Blair began holding talks with the two, trying to forge a common agenda to advance a regional diplomatic move after the Zionist Union joined the government. Herzog spoke of a rare regional opportunity to advance the peace process. Recently, while visiting Egypt, Blair worked on recruiting senior Egyptian figures to his plan. One political source said that Blair is the one who suggested that Sisi make a speech with a message to the Israeli people and their political parties about the need to move forward in the peace process with the Palestinians. According to the source, Blair's activity with the Egyptian presidential office was fully coordinated with Herzog. Blair also coordinated with U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry, informing him of the talks with Herzog and Netanyahu. A political source revealed that subsequent to Blair's actions, U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry considered putting off publishing the Quartet's report regarding their view of the current peace process and what actions should be taken from here until he knew whether the Zionist Union would join the Netanyahu government. U.S. officials, however, denies this claim. When released, the report is expected to heavily criticize Jewish building in the West Bank and East Jerusalem. After visiting Egypt, Blair came to Israel and met with Netanyahu and Herzog again, also working on helping Herzog gain support inside the Zionist Union for joining the government. Blair tried to schedule a meeting with Zionist Union chairwoman Tzipi Livni, but her office said that she was mourning for her brother. Blair insisted and did meet Livni in the early hours of the morning at her Tel Aviv home, presenting the move he was trying to put together. Initially, all was going according to Blair's plan. Sisi gave the speech with the messages Blair had coordinated with Egypt. Herzog hastened to announce that he applauded the speech and said that Israel should not miss the diplomatic opportunity. A few minutes later, Netanyahu also made an announcement welcoming Sisi's remarks and saying he was willing to cooperate with the diplomatic move. Well, that's going to conclude this week's report, where we shared with you the details of the efforts made recently by Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to expand his current government coalition by adding the political party Israel Our Home into his current government coalition. Until we do it again, Shalom in Yeshua the Messiah. Amen.